Come on.
I'm just playing.
Dun, 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 dun. Ba-da-da-boom.
Yeah.
Dun,
Get it.
dun, dun,
Yeah.
dun, dun. Ba-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-boom.
That water in. We should take a poll.
That's what I thought we were doing for the edibles.
Yeah. We should just start doing it. I like that.
I thought that was the idea.
All right.
Hey there, y'all.
This is 14 Grams. I'm Protocol.
I'm TG.
And we also have a special guest with us. What's going on, Maine?
Maniac.
Maniac.
Main for short. Yeah. How you
Welcome
doing?
to the group, Maniac.
It is.
Hustler.
It's good to be welcome.
Hustler, artist. What other titles can we give you?
Photographer, but I can't really just plug the photographer.
I've seen some pictures. They're pretty good.
I'd like to think so sometimes.
Hope you've called your weed man. We're about to get into another episode of 14 Grams. The homie Hyman Rand is out on business today. Shout out to Hyman Rand and our sponsors.
Hey, shout out, guys.
So Blowed Apparel, Protocol Vape & Co.,
Hey, we thank you. Love sent out to the
TG Edibles, The Professional Black Stoner.com. Shout out to our friends and partners, Compton Tea Time, Cash Colored Cannabis.
and Cushion Cute.
Just want to thank everybody who's been supporting, listening to the SoundCloud, subscribing, seeing some more likes on Instagram, more likes on Twitter and stuff like that.
Definitely loving all this buzz that we're getting. We're realizing everything. But, guys, just leave some comments with whatever kind of feedback that you might have. We're definitely welcome to it. And you never know what kind of giveaways we might be out there about to offer. So just stay posted and keep your eyes open.
Right. Strain of the day. Now, TG returned on last episode. She's been definitely handling a lot of business. And she did a great job with Strain of the Day, so we thought it would be only appropriate to let her give us the Strain of the Day today. What we got, TG?
So, guys, our strain of the day is coming from Willamette Week, and the strainer is going to be Gorilla Glue number 5 by Devil's Lettuce. Ooh. So the strain is, like I said, Gorilla Glue number 5.
Number 5.
Its parentage are Gorilla Glue number 1 times Gorilla Glue number 4. And the breeder is GG Strains. The grower is, as I said, Devil's Lettuce. And its cannabinoid content is 21.2% of THC.
Hell.
Pretty high.
That is a pretty, high up there number.
No pun intended.
So if we're going to talk about Gorilla Glue number 5, then we need to first talk about its proud parent, Gorilla Glue number 4.
Yeah.
And to do that, we need to introduce a grower by the name of Josie Wells, who is widely recognized as a steward of modern cannabis's happiest accident. An accident, you say? I'm real curious. Like, dun, dun, dun.
Dun, dun, dun. So what happened with Josie Wells?
Josie Mills is one morning Wells entered his flower room to discover a male pollen sac growing from a female, Kim's sister plant. He noticed that a nearby sourdough plant had been dusted with pollen, and when the crop came down, he kept the seeds. A year later, he tested out Happy Stance genetics, but like their hermaphroditic father, the female offspring also produced male pollen sacs, and an entire stadium grew to a seed. I was pissed, writes Wells in a widely quoted forum post. I got rid of all of it to a friend. Meradog.
So basically, Wells walks into his lab
and realizes
he realizes that the plants are, I guess, producing some type of crossbreeding, right?
And he freaks out and just gives it away.
Right? He gives it to his buddy.
What would you have done, though?
Well,
I wouldn't have gave it away. I don't give a damn. Nah, let me see what this is going to produce.
His buddy did feel differently. All right, he took a gamble on the seeds, and he, basically what he did changed cannabis forever. Out of those 4 seeds that germinated, 3 were females. The one that was labeled number 4 was the winner. So he kept that strain around. They kept growing clones in larger batches. And then the name Gorilla Glue came from like when the growers were cutting the stems and stuff, and the scissors were getting all sticky. So,
like Gorilla Glue.
Yeah, it stuck like it. But it's also good because a lot of patients liked it, because you can get that pain relief, but you don't get the sleepiness that immediately just hits you. But there's been a lot of copycats of Gorilla Glue number 4.
They're always copycats.
They're trying to, some don't even have their original appearance. But Gorilla Glue number 5 is going to a little bit differently. They're going to roll it out a little bit.
We will see.
Yeah, we'll see about it. We'll see.
I'm going to get my hands on it.
So, Maine, man, welcome to the show.
Thank you. I don't know. I'm awkward as hell right now. This is like the first time for me.
Why are you awkward?
I don't know. It's just by nature. I can't help that.
Ooh. Ladies, we need someone to come and, take him out of this awkward state.
I'm always welcome to, entertain the company of a beautiful woman.
But you haven't been on Snap, bro.
Nah. I had to leave it alone, man. I had to go underground, so to speak. This is like the most, I guess, above ground thing I've done in a good little minute.
Right.
What caused you to have to go underground?
Oh, yeah. Nah. Yeah, it's just, one too many people were watching me. I had to fall back behind scenes. So.
Oh.
Yeah. It's, mind playing tricks on you, Scarface, all that.
Right. If you guys are wondering what connection Maine has to the culture, when I need a good sativa, this is who I call.
I mean, just call a spade a spade. I'm a street pharmacist, man.
Hey, shit.
10 a G, 2 for 25.
I got them 2 for 25. Look, which one you want? What is it?
Man, look. I can't tell you all that, but just know it smokes good. The 22 for 25 is better than the 2 for 20. I'll give you that. I'll tell you that.
Support your local hustler.
Always support your local hustlers.
So, how has your week been thus far? Anything in particular happened with you this week, or what's been going on?
Well,
any stories to share?
I heard the Pretty Brown Potheads are starting getting some nice incense out there. So that was good to hear. I think 14 grams might do a line or something like that.
I'm definitely game for it.
14 grams merchandise is coming. That
is true.
That's exciting. It's a lot of cool stuff. There's no need to talk about it because you'll see it pretty soon, but it looks really cool. Looking forward to it.
Let's talk about how good this set smells right now, thanks to these lovely images. Yeah.
What is this?
This one right here is Chanel Blue.
Pretty cool. What's been going on with you on the edibles front?
So I done had all kind of crazy shit going on this week. So first, let's talk about, I went and seen my PO, right, y'all?
Right.
So first off, I gotta be real, since Hyman ain't here right now. I can speak my truth without having to worry about him looking at me and judging. I ain't passed the drug test since I got on probation, and I started probation in November. I started my first drug test in like February. That was my first drug test. So I had like 8 drug tests since, and I ain't passed one. And my probation officer
love you.
I'm like, not passed as in failing?
Like THC.
I failed my first drug test and was locked up the next day.
No, listen, I failed all of them. Like THC is in my system with each and every one of them.
And what's your secret?
Have true determination and read the people before you walk in this room. Because I still do everything else. You can't be doing this if you got a full record full of shit. And not being funny, the way the system works, black men, I'm sorry, it doesn't work for you either, unless it's a woman and she's young and horny or lame. Sorry, but it just is.
Preach.
But I got a pretty cool white dude that's middle-aged. He seems like he got a real family. He seemed like he actually got a life,
Mm-hmm.
So he told me when I went, he was like, yeah, I gotta let you talk to my supervisor. The judge wants you to talk to her. And I was like, oh shit. He's like, yeah, just come on. Let's just handle it and get it over. First, he asked me before he took me to his supervisor, are you going to pass this drug test? And I was like, yeah, no. He's like, well, fuck it. It's that time and you already in treatment, so it don't matter. Just take the drug test. I'm like, bet. So I got to talk to his supervisor, and she's like, she has this stern, angry look on her face when I get in her office. And I'm like, okay, checkmate. I see. All I got to do is tell you what the fuck you want to hear.
Right.
And I realized that because she was like, so what are you on? What are you being charged? What is your charge? And I was like, possession of a controlled substance. And this is her response.
Which is bullshit to start with.
Exactly. Her response was, oh, so possession of an illegal drug. And I was like, I already know how this finna go. So I played the role of I'm an addict that it lives in a house full of people that smoke marijuana, and that I'm fourth generation, island girl marijuana heads. And then I told her that she was a fat lady too, who looks like she has no life. So I also told her that I plan to work on the cruise ships when I graduate pastry school. So I'm really trying to hone in on stop smoking marijuana, because I need to be able to make sure I can attain and keep my job on the cruise ships. She's like, oh my God, you have a great plan and you can make it. You get off probation in 3 months, just do it and you can do it. I was like,
Wow.
okay.
The artist selling the dream. There it is.
It worked.
And I'm in 2 different treatment programs, and both of my treatment programs are full of dope fiends. So I'm in there and it's like looking at Mari. And I came back and told her some of the coping mechanisms that they talked about in class. It's like, I'm using that. And then I'm also just chewing gum. And then I have a patch. I've cut off cigarettes. Like, I've cleaned my life. I don't know what it is about me and the system.
It's called being blessed.
Yeah, like I went to jail before for 2 weeks, and I went on a date with one of the officers while I was in jail, and all the people, like the security people, they brought me food.
Okay. So I just looked, my mouth dropped open. I looked over Maine's mouth.
No, I got my ass whooped when I was in jail.
I did. And I had my own cell. So you can't really beat that.
CO beat my ass.
That's an interesting struggle, and I think that that's pretty interesting that they're calling it a controlled substance. Because
I know it was talking about the Adderall.
Oh, guess it's time for the news.
I feel like a 2-page just dropped on my head.
Walter Chronic is not here this week. We have Ted Kushel standing in for him. So it's pretty interesting that times are changing. It looks like, administration officers, the laws are being more lenient. Even the Secret Service realizes it's losing too many applicants by banning habitual weed users.
Are you serious?
Serious. So this is coming from the Cannabis. Basically, former cannabis users won't have as a tough time entering in the Secret Service. So, you obviously can't, be getting your smoke on in the last couple of years. But if you were a habitual smoker about 5 years ago, then they're willing to look, past that. Because as the laws are becoming more lenient and changing, they're looking at that as something that's more acceptable. So that's kind of good news. And Jeff Sessions. Jeff Sessions. So this is also for Walter Chronic, who likes to bring up Jeff Sessions. Jeff Sessions is kind of digging himself into a political hole. A lot of people are saying he's actually being sued by some Texans, which is pretty interesting. So there's young Texas medical marijuana refugee sues Sessions over cannabis laws. So you might be wondering, what is a marijuana refugee? There's an 11-year-old who's basically joined a lawsuit with a former NFL player, an Iraq war veteran, and 2 others in a lawsuit who are challenging Attorney General Jeff Sessions and the federal government's stance on medical marijuana. So they wrote an 88-page complaint. And basically, this is coming as Sessions' Task Force on Crime Reduction and Public Safety about to release a review. They're talking about the ties between marijuana and violent crime. So we're pretty hard on Jeff Sessions. Hyman Rand might say, fuck Jeff Sessions right now.
I feel like Jeff Sessions is a part of exactly what we were talking about last week, when we were saying this generation that we just need to push out of there. And I feel like those guys are our brothers.
Waiting to die.
Yeah, right. As my words were, but y'all looked at me like I was harsh, so I tried
I'm kind of feeling that a little bit now.
Yeah, now you feeling where I'm coming from. But if you look at if we take true lessons from our bros over at Cash Colored Cannabis, we see, like, if we put forth this step, there's plenty of stuff that can be done. Because, look at what they got going on in Atlanta.
Right. They're actually sitting with Congress.
Yeah, they're sitting with Congress as we speak. Exactly. So, y'all, if you're not doing anything, or even if you are, make sure you pay attention to what they got going and just keep up with their Instagram, and it'll keep you,
Cash Colored Canna, I think.
Yeah, Cash Colored Cannabis. And, like, Yeah, I'm a huge fan and I'm all the way with the movement. And it's great examples, I feel, for us as to, okay, everybody's talking about what they have to complain about, but no one's actually making actions. In their case, there's actions to go with the talk. So my hat to go off to you, brothers. Thanks for, keeping it real.
Definitely. And staying informed and not just talking, but also acting.
Exactly.
Guys like Sessions are opposition. They're an enemy of cannabis. But here we go with these folks who are suing them. So if you're wondering what is a cannabis refugee, this family was forced to become medical marijuana refugees in the state of Colorado.
In Colorado?
Basically, since she was 7, they've been having seizures. And the leafy cannabis is the only thing that really soothes it with that high THC level.
I believe that because I have a mother now that I'm dealing with
Right.
who came to me because her 4-year-old grinds her teeth in her sleep and she scratches herself really bad, like when she's super nervous or overly excited. So she got a cookie from me and broke it into fourths and sent me a message letting me know her daughter slept for the first time in 4 years through the whole night. She didn't grind her teeth and she was able to split. She says, I have enough cookie to last her for the next, the rest of the week.
That's
I'm
great.
definitely a new client of yours.
Right.
So I completely understand where the parents are coming from, but I'm still just confused about the whole refugee thing, I guess you could say.
Basically, now being that she's a Texas resident, right? It's illegal for her to bring, the bud back to Texas because they have a CBD allowance,
Completely
but not,
understand.
they we don't like the THC here. And so, basically they're saying that this lawsuit is basically saying that it's unconstitutional. The family can't go back and they're not eligible for certain grants and stuff, going to school. When we look at Thomas Jefferson, Abraham Lincoln, Barack Obama, the presidents have ties to it. But it was a pretty interesting.
Damn near every president got high. I was gonna say that damn near.
Right?
Except for George Bush. He drunk beer. George Bush Senior. He was like a
point being, they all had some sort of addiction.
Straight up.
Right.
Or some sort of easer. Each person had their own thing of choice.
I mean, everybody's addicted to something, in my opinion.
The interesting part is that each one of these people have an interesting story, and I won't spend too much time on it, but they have a 6-year-old who suffers from Leigh's disease, spelled Leighs. It's a neurological disorder. Army veteran who has post-traumatic stress. The NFL player who played, for the Broncos, 49ers, they're all involved in it. So it's pretty, pretty interesting that people are starting to band together and start to do that type of stuff. Even more interesting is trending in the job market. More and more experienced workers want a new career in cannabis. Yeah. So people who have, worked in the cannabis industry, all different backgrounds, they're coming forth.
I looked at this lovely thing on Instagram actually today from Women Grow, and it was basically giving percentages of the market with cannabis right now. And it's basically saying that 36% of executives in the cannabis industry are women. In most of the other U.S. industries, women fill less than 25% of leadership roles. So just on the woman's side, I'm going to say on this lovely Woman to Woman Wednesday, shouts out to all my women out there that's getting it. Yes, this is bomb. And pretty soon this 36 will be 56 and so forth and so on.
I think that's interesting that, I don't know, it's kind of interesting how cannabis is kind of still holding up a mirror to America and kind of forcing it in a way to look at itself. Because, when you look at the fact that they're calling it a Schedule 1, narcotic, that came from, the Nixon era when they were trying to, discriminate against anti-war protests with minorities and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? So you're putting it in the same class as heroin and methamphetamine, you know what I'm saying? Stuff like that.
So I was doing a little research, the other day on some edibles information, and I came across this ad from High Times. And the ad was pretty good. It basically informed you of the top 10 most extremely potent cannabis edibles, and all of that listed all 10. So I recommend that each person goes and checks that out. But one specific part of it that I was like, hey, I definitely need to share with people is, it's basically saying that when some people overdo edibles, you'll kind of feel uncomfortable. And it's like you kind of like that uncomfortable high of, I just want to come down.
That's
And
crazy.
you can't make yourself come down. So you know how they say people to drink milk?
Right.
No, you do not drink milk because all the milk is actually doing is heightening your high because of the fatty acids that are in the milk, which makes sense for me with, dealing with edibles. So you want to know what they recommend for you to do?
What?
Keep some CBD oil handy. Because when experimenting, he says, since the cannabinoid acts like an antidote for those who have consumed too much THC, a few sprays of CBD breath spray and your overly medicated high mellowed itself out almost instantly.
I wish somebody would have told me that. I really wish somebody would have told me.
So for all my edible eaters out there, I need y'all to keep that in mind. And then another thing that you need to keep in mind on your edibles is no matter, each edible is going to hit you. You and your friend can get the exact same edibles from the exact same person, but they will hit you two totally different ways. And all of that is based off of your body type, your body weight, the diet and metabolism all play a role in how different experiences of edible cannabis work on each person. So I ask that each and every one of you keep that in mind. Take your time. It's recommended that if you've never done edibles before, that you start off with something low at a 10 milligram dosage, and then work yourself up within a week. And then when you get that 10 milligram dosage, you're actually supposed to break it down into many micro dosages and eat it like that. They say that's what the senior citizens have been doing these days. Like, believe it or not, our highest consumers of edibles these days are senior citizens.
Yeah, they're over the bullshit. And
they're micro dosing themselves on it too. They'll buy one cinnamon roll or one cookie and break that cookie down and just nibble on it all throughout the day.
That seems like some old person shit.
It does. I was like, I can't do that.
I ain't gonna lie, I do that with Rice Krispie treats. Let me find a good Rice Krispie treat. I'm chewing on that.
Then I'm the girl you need to be talking to.
No, I was gonna talk to you after this. I've been paying attention since I walked in this room.
Well, y'all, if anybody else is a little bit interested, y'all go ahead and hit us up at TG_edibles. Oh, and that's also the other great news, y'all. Guess who starts Chef Labs next week?
Hey.
Woo-woo. I'll be all in that white coat.
Realize your show is half an ounce.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
So someone, and y'all, he don't even smoke.
Yeah, right.
Like, he doesn't smoke often, so he's not high now.
No, truth be told, I'm a former pothead. The reason why I'm a former is because of probation and things of that nature. But it was like an ounce a day type situation.
God damn, that's a lot of weed. You should invest. Shit.
Yeah, I kind of got a natural high now.
So y'all, next week I'll have some great details for you. Also, this weekend I am going to a shaman convention and I'll be having some ayahuasca.
What is ayahuasca?
It's basically like peyote, but on another level. And I'll be at a fire ceremony in the middle of the woods, and it's a black shaman, and the whole congregation of people are all, of the kindred black people spirit. And we'll be in the middle of the woods. So I look forward to, where my third eye takes me over this weekend and making sure that I have plenty to share with you guys come next week.
Wow, that's cool. And we also need to we're going to talk about lighters and lighter thieves, the incidentals, accidentals.
Like protocol.
How it happens. You know what? That hurts, man.
We'll get into it, though. We'll get into it.
We'll talk about that next week.
And then we also have a poll coming up for you guys. We need to know. And if you check us out at XIV Grams on Instagram, you'll see the poll is going to ask, out of all the edibles that you have, which do you prefer? Candies or pastries? Dun, dun, dun.
I'm going to save my opinion for the vote. Before we go, I want to make sure we thank our sponsors, Soul Blowed Apparel.
Thank you, Soul
Protocol
Blowed.
Vapor Co. FreshNoBlackStoner.com.
We definitely want to thank our supporters and our family, Cash Collar Cannabis and
Compton Tea Time.
Hey,
they sit down with John Sally too.
And shouts out to Cushion Cute for being such a great teammate out there with those edible body scrub guys. She has that CBD oil and hemp oil, you know, bath products, great
Cushion
for the
cute.
couples.
Not bad and bougie. Cushion cute. Thanks, man, for coming out.
Yeah, this was hella fun.
And shout out to our boy Hyman once again. Peace, guys.
Peace.